Hello and welcome back to another Glamour preview video with me, Meoni. This is continuing our look at dungeon gear in Shadowbringers. This gear set is from the level 77 dungeon Malikah's Well, unlocked through the progression of the main scenario storyline. The gear in itself features reskins and recolors of some crafting and gathering gear from the past, this time for combat roles. Let's start firstly with tanks. This is the Fending set then. This chest piece is a recolor of the Dalmor skin type vest from Heavensward. You may have seen Chloe Aliapo wearing this before in Idleshire. Well, this is that same design, only you have this baby poop brown colour reskin with blue sections in between. The set is clearly designed in my mind to mimic the mining operation inside Malikah's Well and the zone the dungeon is found in itself, and whilst I personally don't have much love for this recolor, it is really cool to see this set revisited. That pot helm is a reskin of the Gaiuki leather and Animos pot helms that we've seen before, and you'll find that they bolted bits together from lots of previous gear sets to actually make this and many of the others. Next up is the Maiming Outfit, which again has another recolor of the chest there, along with recolors of the other tank pieces. There really isn't anything stylistically different from the tank set, with all of those repurposed assets just colored again. I will say I prefer the color scheme of this Maiming set over the tank one. I can completely get behind green. Green is ultimately much better and more satisfying than baby poop brown in my own opinion, unless that's your kind of thing. I remember quite some time ago on the channel I made a Chloe Aliapo Glamour recreation, and in that video I hope that we might one day see this chest opened up to combat roles, so you can, I guess, kind of blame this one on me. Alright, striking next. This is a reskin of the Molly Denim headgear, the level 68 tank helm from Stormblood, and we have a reskin chest from the Rami Dubois of crafting. So yeah, once again we have wedged together more gear from previous incarnations to make this set in particular. If you've always fancied having the Dubois of crafting for combat roles, then I'm sure you're quite pleased with this one in particular. It's a nice striking red, pun intended, and the mix of items reminds me a little of the Sky Pirate themed sets we've seen before. In general, it's not completely terrible, but it's not really anything new either. Aiming is up, and we have the scarf for a helm slot here, a reskin of the Forager's vest and Forager's legs, mixed with recolored Twin Adder Grand Company hands and feet. You can actually still see the Serpent Elite symbol on the boots up a bit next to the lace as well, which just looks weird considering this is from the first, but I can see what they were going for. A lot of the Gatherer's gear does have the advantage of massive amounts of pockets, which you could potentially repurpose visually for utility pouches for explosives and ammunition, in this case for aiming. It's clearly not the most desirable colour choice again, with the baby poop greeny brown returning, but I will say I do like the reuse of this scarf. To have a nice black scarf available for aiming is pretty good. The only other black scarf in the game, if I remember correctly, is the Scarf of Wondrous Wit, but that's not actually purely black and has a gold trim. So in many ways it's worth it just for that slot if you want to collect something interesting. Scouting next, and wow, this is quite a different look than the one I expected. This then is a recolor of the Land King's coat, helm, gloves and legs from Stormblood. They really didn't pull any punches with this one. It's just a straight up recolor and repurpose of that old Land King set, and why bother, it is a really cool looking outfit. The turquoise, dark red and beige works really well together with little hints of brown leather in between. I suppose since this is such a new model in comparison to the tanking and striking sets, etc., in retrospect, there is obviously going to be a visual leap in design and quality when you look at these in comparison, which is evident here as it's such a nice looking set, and overwhelmingly I'm drawn to this one out of the ones we've seen so far. People who wanted this for combat roles got their prayers answered, but let's just hope those same people play ninja. Healers next, and this then is comprised of an Ironworks Gathering Helm reskin. The legs, chest, gloves and feet are recolors of the Hand Kings sets from Stormblood. Kinda makes you look like a train conductor for some reason. I mean, I'm all for shoveling coal instead of casting spells and keeping the dragoons off a floor, but I'm not really sure my party is ready for the train journey I'd put them on. The design team were clearly on rails for this one and worked at full steam to reintroduce a nice looking set from Stormblood. It's It's alright, I will never use this for Glamour for myself, but it's not the worst gear set in the universe either. Once you see Train Conductor though, that's all you will really ever see. And finally, casting. This is a interesting one. So the level 50 Bard helm, the Ballad crown if you remember from that job quest, has been given to casters as a green recolor here, and then you have another recolor of those Hand King's bottoms, chest, shoes and gloves. It's really unusual to me that they would reuse the Ballad crown, especially for casters, but then these sets are a right jumble of ideas for sure. The green is very gardeny, and I suppose that's what they were going for. Perhaps your run-of-the-mill black mage or caster sometimes wants to stop destroying the DPS meters for a few seconds to pick a few flowers on the battlefield, and that's really all I can think about for this one. It's an interesting set, and by no means is this my favourite. So then, which was your own favourite from the Nabarth attire? It really seems to be a dungeon filled with reskins and repurposes, and as much as we can say the same about certain items from previous dungeons we've looked at in Shadowbringers so far, with a couple of repurpose and reskins, Malikah's well certainly seems to be the largest dump of them we've seen in quite some time. Either way, thank you kindly for watching, and I'll see you all next time.